In this video, I'm going to show you an Arduino library that I'm giving away, which is a simple version of something called Optional using the C++ standard library. A link is in the description of this video if you wish to use my library for your project. The Optional class is used for solving the problem of when a function returns something where it may fail. For example, if you tell a function to retrieve a name from a database, it may return that name, but if the name does not exist, it has to return something to signal the failure. If a function returns a number, functions may return different unused numbers to signal an error such as -1 or 0, but that is not possible with everything, as -1 or 0 may be a valid returns number. What you can do is return an optional object, which may contain a number or which may be empty. At the making of this video, Arduino currently doesn't have exception handling, so you can't use that to handle a lack of a return value, so I decided to make a simple version of this optional class called BasicOptional. Let's have a look at the example code. Here I have made a couple of functions which returns a BasicOptional containing a string object or a double when giving a true, or an empty BasicOptional when it's given a false. Note the use of the braces here to construct an empty BasicOptional object. In the library itself, I'm using a template, so use these angle brackets, which makes ret a BasicOptional that contains a double, but if you wish, you can use the word auto used in C++ in order to reduce verbosity in your code if you know what the function returns. You can try running this code with a false instead of the true in order to see what happens to the program when the returned object is empty. I am using the same names for functions as the one used in C++17, so here, to query whether the returned object does indeed contain a valid result, you can use hasValue, and to get the number within, you can use value. For the second function, I'm using alternative methods here. I'm using the auto keyword here, as I know the function returns a BasicOptional which contains Arduino's string object. Instead of using the hasValue function to see whether there is something inside, I can just use the variable name inside of the if statement. To get the value within, I can use an asterisk here instead of using the value function. Finally, there is a value or function. This is used for a scenario where you want to supply something with either the returned value or some sort of default value. For example, a function fails to return a name from a database and returns an empty BasicOptional object. You can supply a default name, or in this particular example, this prints out 22.5 as the function fails to return a number. This is like something trying to convert a string to a number, but the string is corrupted, so if you can't read it, it returns 22.5 by default. Perhaps I will improve on this library in the future to fully implement the optional class, so the code may be different to the video, but for now, I hope that this version helps you, and thank you for watching.